Hey everybody, welcome to our new podcast. We are the Game Boys. I am Rasputin. I'll be your host for today. I am joined with Perry Dactyl.
Yo!
Hey Perry. Also to my left is Heavy Eyes Mitch Kramer.
Yo, what's up?
And this other guy here is Steve-O Hobo.
What's up, everybody?
So we've been talking about doing a podcast for a while where we talk about games and stuff, and this is our first episode. The theme for this episode is talking about our favorite games so that you can kind of get a feel for what we like. Some of you might already know that to a degree, but it'll be a good opportunity to learn our top 5 favorite games for each of us. The hard thing about it is picking 5 games is really difficult.
It's not an easy thing to do at all.
It was a hard task.
It's been a lot of rotation. So you should keep in mind that these are our 5 favorite games of like this second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It might be different in an hour. It might be different midway through the call. It'll definitely...
I already want to change my list. Like, that's how bad it is.
It'll definitely be different in a month or 2 months from now.
Yeah.
Just because opinions change, feelings towards games change. But this is our best shot at our 5 favorite games for the moment. So the way this is going to work is we're going to all go at the same time, starting with our 5th, and then move on to our favorite game. You guys have any questions or?
No, why
ready,
would
man.
we have questions?
I don't know. I just wanted to open the dialogue. Is that such an
Smart.
issue?
Smart.
Great host, Raz.
I try. It's what I get paid good money to do.
Yep.
So Steve, I'm gonna put the pressure on you.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Starting with my number 5. I don't think you guys have a clue what my number 5 is. But
That's why you're talking to me.
it is Final Fantasy X.
I knew
You've
you'd
played a
Whoa.
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
10.
game?
I knew it'd be 10.
I didn't know you had played a Final Fantasy game. I guess I
Oh,
did.
what?
I've heard you talk about Blitzball before, so I guess I
Yeah.
kind of did.
Yeah.
But that's like in the first hour, isn't it? The first like Blitzball game.
Yeah, it's in the first hour.
You
hour.
don't play
I've never
Blitzball
played it, so-
in the first hour. You like watch a epic
You watch it?
cutscene.
Okay, I've never
First
played it, so-
Blitzball game is probably like 2 hours into the game. I really
wow.
hate
It's
the
pretty.
Blitzball though.
It's pretty
be
close to
honest.
the beginning.
I don't
close.
like playing Blitzball in that game. I think it's really stupid.
Dude, fuck you. Get out of here,
It's so
man.
much fun.
Blitzball makes 10, dude.
Getting Walker's Ultimate was so much fun because you had to play
I
heaps of
can't
Blitzball.
do it. I would like that Blitzball game, like the last one where it's like right before Sin comes, is so ridiculously hard. Like, and it
Yeah.
demoralizes the fuck out of me. So I never try after
Blitzball
that.
entire game.
I'm like, I start a new game, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get good at Blitzball this time, and then I do that, and I'm like, fuck it, maybe next year.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Steve, why Final Fantasy X?
Okay, Final Fantasy X, first Final Fantasy game,
Right.
and man, I just like people shit on Titus a lot, but I think he's a pretty cool character. I think he goes like through a little bit of growth, and I really like 10 just because it's really like streamlined.
Yeah.
And like I like the progression, so like the sphere grid, that shit's cool because
Word.
it's like it makes sense. Like it's really easy to understand,
Mhm.
but at the same time it has a lot of depth because like if you get the right items, you can take a character like in a far different direction than you did your last playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
So I'm
make-
not familiar with the sphere grid. Is it just like it's kind of like a power branch or a upgrade
Yeah.
branch?
It's like
Yeah.
the
In a way,
skill
yeah.
tree of the game.
okay. Skill. That is the
Yeah.
word I was looking
got
for.
you.
But
Yeah.
I got you, Raj.
Power Branch.
yeah,
power
so
branch,
so
the branch
like
branch?
you have a bunch of characters and like there's just one giant grid and
Mhm.
all of your characters are on the same grid, and so they all start out in different places. So after a while your characters start to overlap, and
Mhm.
also like one thing to do to like change your character's role is to find like key spheres, and key spheres will like open up an area of the grid that you couldn't go to before. So like, for instance, like Titus is like, he's the fastest character, like high accuracy, and like in like late game he starts to hit pretty hard. But like if you use like a key sphere in a certain place, you could like make him a healer, which he doesn't usually do, or just like any kind of caster. So that's cool.
That's cool. There's a lot of customization to a degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sweet. And go ahead, Perry.
I was just gonna ask you something contrary to Final Fantasy X, but finish your thought, man.
Okay. Yeah, Final Fantasy X. Also, I just really like the combat. Like,
I love the combat in 10. I think it's the best of all Final Fantasies.
Oh man, are you being sarcastic right now? Because a lot of people think it's dumb. Like a lot of Final Fantasy games have like the active time battle thing, and like honestly, I don't really care about it. Like I think the way 10 is, it like you have a bunch. I mean, you're not rushed into making any decision.
Yeah,
and so I think it leaves room for you to make like really complex battles. Like there's some battles where like you really have to think and like plan what you're gonna do, or you're gonna get fucked. Like,
I like you cast haste, and then you can see on the side the turn order.
Yes,
all your guys.
Yes,
have
that
turns.
is great.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah, I totally agree on that.
There's a lot of precision with it. Like that, just the turn order is like, it's a huge difference.
I think
between other.
They optimized
games.
That really, really well in 10.
Yeah.
It's very very clear.
Yeah. Also, I just played the remake a couple months ago, and like it looks good, and they redid all the music. A lot of people didn't like them redoing the music, but I think the music is sick. Like a lot of the new like the remix tracks are sick.
Yeah, I have it. I've been meaning to play it. It's just I've always heard that game takes forever. And I mean it's a JRPG.
Yeah. It is a big one.
It takes forever.
Like
starting a game like that is always hard.
It's a perfect time to start it though. Like summertime is like the time for RPGs.
True.
But
yeah, man.
Yeah, okay, before we move on, I want to ask you, Steve, who's your favorite character from 10?
Oh man. Kimari.
I fucking knew it, you fucking furry! God damn it!
Man.
Oh, God. He was always on the back burner for me, and then you get to that mission where you have to use him, and I was always underpowered for it.
See, also, Kimari... Okay, so, what's cool about Kimari...
No one cares.
For anyone who doesn't know...
He's a blue cat!
You should like him. You like Big the Cat.
I like Big the Cat because he's a joke character.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, for anyone who doesn't know, Kimari is basically, he can, from the beginning, you can mold him into any role. And, like, each character has an overdrive, which is, like, their ultimate. And Kimari's thing is that he can, like, take overdrives from other monsters. And so when you get to this part that Mitch is talking about, kind of spoilery, but I don't think anyone cares, you, like, fight against other Ronso. And Kimari's a Ronso. They're, like, these cat people. And so you can use this move called Lancet to, like, absorb, like, all these different overdrives. And when you're fighting these, like, Ronso guys, you can just keep using Lancet on them and learn every overdrive that you can from other monsters. And so you build up this, like, arsenal with Kimari. And he's, like, so fun to fight with. Because he can do literally anything. Like, he can fill any role, whatever you want to do. So, that's why I like Kimari. Also, Orin, close second.
Yeah.
He's fucking
Riku
badass.
best girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't played. But
Yo,
so.
Raz knows,
Yeah.
man.
Raz knows.
Yeah.
Raz knows. All right, so why don't we jump to Perry?
All right. So I just want to preface by saying, I don't really have a list here. Like, it's just games I like. These are just games I really, really like. The order means nothing to me, really. So let's go. I'm gonna say Smash Bros. Melee / Project M.
Nice.
I think just from amount of time spent in the game, I think I think I've spent just so much time playing Project M or Smash Bros. Melee. I don't know, like, that was my game for the GameCube. Like, I just remember always having friends over, playing Melee, getting really, really into it, and, like, even years later, I don't even remember when Melee came out, but, like, it's like, what, at least 10 years?
Yeah.
Still relevant, still very, very fun, even compared to, like, the newer games. And I don't know.
It's so fast.
It's very, very fast and
so
very
fast.
rewarding when you do something well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of just, like, bled into, like, my interest into, like, the fighting scene and stuff, like, getting into Smash tournaments and, like, watching Smash play Apex and junk. And I don't know, like, I just think Smash Bros. Is a very unique fighter, and they mastered it in Melee and Project M, because it's like a freeform fighter with mascots of characters throughout all the cool games that Nintendo has. And I don't know, there's a lot of cool shit going on that a lot of other fighting games don't have, and it's just super rewarding to play as.
Yeah,
For
I think
sure.
Project M would be my perfect Smash game if I had played it much. But by the time I like figured it out and started playing it, my friends were in very different cities than me, so we just didn't get to play it much.
Yo, Raz.
Um,
Net play, son.
oh yeah, but they were onto Dota and
Oh,
all that cool
all that cool
stuff.
stuff.
For someone who
Mitch.
doesn't give a shit about most esports, Smash Bros. Competitive hypes the shit out of me.
Yo, totally.
It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mango Nation.
Dude, don't put that mango agenda up in this stream. It's all about H-box.
Mango Nation.
Yo, we all about the Hungry Box.
I recently went to a Smash tournament and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Did you
That shit was
play?
hype. I did. I
Did
got
you get
destroyed, obviously, but it was fine. Like, I was just there to hang out, and then Nick was like, "Yo, just play," and I was like, "Okay," and I got destroyed, but I expected it. I won one match, like.
Oh.
I won one round, I should say, not match, and I was completely happy with that.
Yeah. I think
That's
the
great.
thing about Melee for me, so I kind of like the new Smash and Brawl better because of Diddy Kong. Because I'm
Oh
a
my
loser
god,
like
you're
that.
the worst.
Wow.
I just like
Hoo-ha.
there's no character in Melee that I really loved playing. But the stages in Melee are so
They are
good.
really,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
And especially Kirby, the Fountain of Dreams.
Yo,
I love
One.
that stage. Love the music on that
Yo.
stage
Yeah,
too.
the music's
oh
so
man.
good. But I was so upset that has not made an appearance.
yo, so like the thing
Since-
about that level, like they don't use it. They don't like using it for tournaments because it doubles the use of RAM because of the reflections in the water.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting.
Man, that's
Yeah, it's really cool.
I thought you were gonna say it's because it's
No,
slippery.
it's
Yeah,
actually a
it is
fun level.
slippery.
It makes the GameCube chug.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So it'd probably be fine now, but like back then it was just like, oof, can't use this one. And also I think in term, like I mentioned this briefly, but like I think Melee finally realized like how to make like characters that aren't in fighting games like Samus or Captain Falcon like a viable character in a fighting game.
Yeah.
I don't know, and like I think that's just so fucking hype. Like that makes me excited to play Smash Bros. Also, Samus is a total babe. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like we've had conversations many a time about, and so many people have about like a platinum Captain Falcon
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
And like Smash just makes it so obvious
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Yo, Platinum,
Yeah.
do it up! Do it up!
I'll
Come
call
on.
him up.
Call him tomorrow for me, guys.
Raz calls him up.
You have anything else to say about Smash? Or...
I think it's probably one of the best party games. Like,
oh
yeah.
certainly.
Yep.
that's probably about it. It's just a really fun, and if you're listening to this podcast and haven't tried a Smash Bros. Game, period, you're really doing yourself a disservice. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
You probably don't exist.
No, there's people that don't play
yeah.
that, like old people.
That's weird. Like old
People, man.
I don't know if they're in our demo,
Hey.
but I guess Mitch is here to hit that audience.
Oh,
So.
goddamn.
Grandpa Mitch.
Grandpa Mitch, why don't you say your top 5?
Yeah.
All right.
Number 5 for you, Mitch.
So number 5 for me is a very weird one, and I don't think it's a game a lot of people have played, which is one of the reasons I put it on here. Gothic. If any of you guys
Never
have
heard
it.
of it.
It's a German RPG. It's like set in this prison. The prison walls is this magic barrier, and they just chuck all prisoners in there. And then when you start, you have to choose a faction. So it adds so much replayability because there's all these different ways you can go about it. And the reason I like it so much is that in school we all had it, and we all had different stories to tell about it. And for me,
That's awesome.
at that time, this was like 2002, I think. Not many games had that. So it was just like this huge epic experience that we all like could share our different stories from this game from. It's not aged the best.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So like you say there's different factions. Are the different paths like notable? Like is it notably different?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the names are escaping me right now, but they're red, blue, and green. And the red works with all the people controlling the prison, so they're all the guys who are the guards, and like they're the corrupt powers, I guess. Okay. Blue is the mining, so they have all the money. And green are the hippies that just smoke weed.
Hell
literally
yeah.
smoke weed all the time.
Hell yeah, give me that space weed.
That gothic dang.
Yeah. And it's just really interesting. It's a cool take on like the whole I guess classic sword and shield RPG.
So you said it was an RPG. Yeah. Like, is it like the kind of like a Fallout, like old school Fallout kind of RPG, or?
It's more Western.
Okay.
Like, I guess newer Fallout, picking items, leveling up different abilities, choosing what weapons to master, things like that.
Is it like a first person or a third person?
Either.
Whoa, okay. That's pretty cool.
Oh.
So like Skyrim or Fallout.
Yeah, it always goes on sale for real cheap on Steam sale, so I highly suggest picking it up.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I like that. It sounds like it's honestly almost 3 different games.
Yeah, it really is.
Which is rare. Because like a lot of times you get like Far Cry 4, which is like, oh yeah, you have so many choices, but it's really like the same choice, and then the end you get to kill someone or not kill someone. You know,
I mean,
it's really small differences.
It does have that to an extent because it's an overarching story, but the way you get there is completely different each time. And the sequels are really good as well. Well, 2 and 3 are. 4 is a pile of shit. But yeah, the only problem is the controls are awful, and you'll spend 10 minutes on any new game remapping. I don't know what they were thinking when they made them. Like, it's not intuitive at all. But if you can get past that, it's fine.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had heard of it.
Yeah.
And I could have had something.
Yeah.
But it does sound cool. I would probably play it if you didn't say it aged horribly.
Yeah, same here.
That makes me really scared to try.
Just graphically, and the controls are what makes it. Once you remap everything, it plays fine.
Yeah.
But it does look a bit ugly because it's in that early 2000s. We're sort of still figuring out 3D.
Right.
Yeah. Certainly.
But yeah.
Well, I can jump in with mine, unless you have anything else to add.
Not really.
So what would a top 5 list be without a Zelda game?
Ooh.
And my 5th favorite game is Majora's Mask.
Good pick.
Oh.
It was really hard. I was thinking about doing A Link Between Worlds instead.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Just because I really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, Majora's Mask took the cake. Mitch, you were saying it's on yours?
Yeah, it's number 3 for me.
Okay, so it's also on my list.
It's not on mine.
Perry's not a loser like the rest of us. It's just that it was so different, and it is so different than the rest of the series, and it just hits certain story and themes story and theme elements that just don't really get shown in mainstream Nintendo games.
Yeah, I was gonna
definitely.
say that. Definitely out of Nintendo's comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, the masks, like being a Goron in a Zora, fuck the Deku shrub, like
What? He's so cute.
You would, Steve.
Yeah,
He's
he
so
would.
cute.
But like
The fuck? Do you see the tree in the beginning? How could you not love him? The little dead tree.
Because he's so weak, he can't leave the town on his own.
yeah, that's true.
Oh.
But yeah, being a Goron and a Zora was something that I wanted to do in Ocarina of Time. I was like,
Totally.
I wish I could play as those people because they're so cool.
Dude,
And then you
like,
get to do it.
they nailed the swimming in as a Zora.
I haven't played it for a little while. I remember thinking that they nailed it.
I haven't played it.
Ever.
At
No,
all?
I haven't played it for a while. I started the 3D remake, but I have not gotten
I have
the Zora mask yet. I remember it being really good. I don't want to say it was because it could have been
They
really
changed the
shit.
swimming in the re-release.
Okay.
So I don't think I haven't gotten there yet, but I don't think the swimming is as fun
Okay.
as it was in the N64 game.
Yeah.
There was something so satisfying about the swimming, like going down and then pulling back and like dolphining out of the water.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
the-
Okay. Like what I really like about the swimming is like a game that like has underwater sections and is generally good at swimming mechanics makes you feel like a human swimming in water. There's difficulty behind each stroke.
Mhm.
But when you're a Zora, you have so much control and it just makes so much sense because you're a fish person. And it's like flying
Mhm.
and like
Yeah.
there's no resistance. It's like a really weird feeling that like I don't think any other game I've played has like really taken into account like, oh, it shouldn't be difficult to swim because you're a Zora. Like they're
Yeah.
amazing at swimming.
Yeah, I remember when you get the tunic and Twilight Princess, hoping that it would be as good as the swimming in Majora's Mask.
It's
and I was
not.
like, no,
Nope. It's not.
Nope.
Yeah.
It looks cool
Yeah.
though.
It does look pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Looks great. Yeah, Majora's Mask for me, like I really like the characterization of Link. I like for me with Zelda games, like Link is always Link is like his name says it. He's like the link between the player and the game.
Mhm.
But what they do is like they give him no personality in a lot of games to fill that role, which I think is kind of a cop out. And in Majora's Mask, like and Wind Waker is great with its characterization of Link.
Mhm.
And Majora's Mask, I think, hits it a little better for me because it gets you inside Link's head in the beginning and makes him really vulnerable. If you guys remember the cutscenes in the beginning.
Mhm.
So that is like one of the highlights of the game for me.
Yeah, the other big thing for me is that Tattle is just the best like companion, at least from
Yeah.
what I remember. It's been a while since I played the other ones, and I remember Midna being super annoying for a while, but she gets better.
Everyone really likes me.
Yeah, I know, but I just was annoyed by her until like the
I was
second
too,
half
I was
where
too.
she was better, and like Fee.
Fee is
Um,
garbage.
But like
Yeah.
Tattle is great because like Navi is like, oh, I'm gonna help this kid save the world, and like the King of Red Lions is like that too, like, oh, I'm gonna restore Hyrule, and Fee is like, oh, I'm working for the sky goddess who gives a shit. And Tattle's just like, yeah, I'm gonna try to steal your shit. Oh, I got separated from my brother, like let's find him. You know, she's like selfish. She has a personality that isn't like the great protector. And that's really cool to have like a companion that ends up being reliable, but starts off entirely unreliable.
I totally agree on that.
Yeah.
And like that's why like looking back at Midna, she's kind of cool in that regard too, because she's like she lies to Link and like is really
Yeah,
manipulative.
she's a little bitch in the
Um,
beginning.
But like Tattle was just more interesting to me in that sense. And like Tattle and Link together, like they don't save the world like because they're heroes at first. They just save it because they fall into it.
Right.
yeah.
And I think that's really cool and different than the other games where it's always about destiny in the other games.
Yeah.
And this is just
Yeah.
like fuck it, the moon's falling. Like,
You don't got a choice. You're stuck with us.
exactly.
I'd like to hear closing thoughts from Mitch, if you have any, because this is also on your list.
Man, like, I don't know. Growing up, Majora's Mask was hated by everyone in my friends group.
Really?
I don't know why. Yeah, I think it's because you couldn't become Adult Link, and at that point,
Yeah.
only people had played Ocarina of Time, and you got to be Adult Link and the cool badass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, there was just this connection that you got with Majora's Mask that I feel like you didn't get with any other game, a Zelda game rather, at that time especially. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a very emotional game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when you're 10 or 11. I can't remember how old I was when I came out.
Yeah.
And like you're starting to hit that age where, like for me, I was at that age where all those things, all the dark theming, I guess, was starting to become relevant for an angsty teen.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just had this connection with it instantly.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it took me a while. I did not love it a ton when I first played it,
Dude,
just because I
me
was
too.
confused by it.
Yo, real talk here.
When
I got that game expecting it to be Ocarina of Time and like just pick it up and like, you know, get a feel for it. That game broke me as a kid. I was like, Mom, I gotta go get a strategy guide because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay, so Majora's Mask was the first Zelda game I ever played, and I was very young, had no idea what I was doing, and I couldn't even get out of Clock
Oh
Town.
God.
I can see that.
Like the first time I played it.
That's
I can
rough.
see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But then coming back to it a few years ago, I was like, this is what I missed. Motherfuck.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I guess we can
So-
move to the fourth unless anyone has anything else to add.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
So are
it's
we
a
going
really
back
good
to me
game.
now?
It is
Yeah.
very good.
There's a reason it's hit cult status.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Like,
And
the reason why it's not on my list is just because I'm not the craziest Zelda fan, but I really, it's my favorite Zelda
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I should probably say that I have Majora's Mask tattoo.
Yep.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
nice
yeah,
one,
yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess we can do the snake. So I'll start with my fourth, so you can hear more. Of
Okay,
me.
cool.
Great.
I guess I don't know where. God damn it, Perry. I guess I don't know where Majora's Mask fell on your guys' list.
Mine was number 2.
Mine was 3.
Okay. So my fourth favorite game is Legend of Dragoon. It was a JRPG, or is a JRPG on the PS1. That was kind of overlooked because of Final Fantasy being way more popular.
Right.
And I'm sure I have talked a lot about it to you guys before, but just to go over the highlights, it has a similar fighting system to like the Paper Mario games, where you put in an input to do an attack, except it's a little more complicated, and there are different moves that you have where you have to hit it in certain patterns. And it's just like, it was just the first JRPG that I played and beat, which means a lot. Like that's a big investment for an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Or 9-year-old.
Yeah. Man.
And yeah, so it stuck with me. I think a lot of it still holds up. I haven't played it for a few years, partly because I'm worried that it won't hold up.
I played it a couple months ago, and I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't play
Okay.
it all the way through. I just wanted to try out the combat system. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, the combat system's great. One thing I love about it is that it rewards you for being good at doing the combos. 'Cause
Yeah.
the more successful combos you land, the more powerful you get, and the more moves you unlock in the future. Which is cool because it's just rewarding skill / persistence, which not a ton of games do. They'll just give you the upgrades as you go along.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like shit, but it's a PS1 JRPG.
The call
so
outs.
I think
Was it early PS1?
it was not that early. I think it came out in '99,
Right.
and so like Final Fantasy IX came out in 2000, and Final Fantasy IX looks way better.
So, my question to you about Legend of Dragoon is: do you like the story to it? Like, does that hold weight to you?
Like any JRPG, by the middle of the third disc, it just goes off the fucking rails with some like elder energy story that like makes no sense.
Right.
How many discs is it?
It's 4. The 4th is really short from what I remember. But yeah, the first 2 discs, I'd say yes, I really love the story in the first 2 discs before it turns into the JRPG mess that it is. Like there's, I don't want to spoil anything.
Don't spoil it.
Everyone should play it. But there's a really good arc for the first disc with characters and character relationships. And then there's like some good stuff after that in the second. The story as a whole, you know, it's hard to say because JRPGs get crazy and then you lose the plot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Especially that era.
Oh, certainly. But yeah, it's just, this is one of the more nostalgia-based ones, except I'm pretty sure it still holds up.
Pretty sure.
And like, it's just that it's different. That like, it's not. I think with JRPGs is it can get really boring later on when all you're doing is pressing X.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're super powerful, so you just get perfect hits. But in this, you have, even when you are super powerful, you still have to land the combos. Because if you don't land the combos, you're gonna do no damage. Also, like the big thing is you turn into a Dragoon, which is like your like dragon form. So you get like fucking wings pop out of you, and you're just super powerful, and like awesome music plays. It's fucking it has Pterodactyl.
I was trying to keep my cool, but like that's right on my alley.
Like it is fucking great. The music is great. I can't say enough nice things about it. Other than the story is, you know, gets crazy.
I feel like that Paper Mario-esque battle system is what will pull me in, if anything.
Dude,
I was thinking
I gotta say, like, I didn't know anything about that game, but the combo system was really cool. So.
Yeah. It's really satisfying to get combos off, too. Like, it just feels good when you get, like, a 6-hit combo, and you're like, oh, I can do it. Well, I mean, especially as an 8-year-old, when you're like, fuck, like, these buttons are hard.
Yeah.
God damn. Now it's not as difficult, or when I played it a few years back, it was not as difficult. But yeah, so that is definitely my favorite JRPG. I'll say now that Final Fantasy IX is not on my top 5 list.
Oh no!
It had to shave off.
Oh, so it was really close.
Yeah, I didn't actually have it on my original 10 list. It was like the 11th spot.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But, you know, sometimes in the name of top 5, you have to shave off good games. But Final Fantasy IX is great too. Everyone should play that. It's fucking fantastic.
Or just watch Raz's video.
Something tells me Final Fantasy IX's got a really special intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
All right, let's move on to Perry's 4th.
All right.
No, we gotta go. Wait, I thought we were going Snake, so Mitch.
It was Mitch.
Perry was second.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, fine, Steve.
Way to contradict the host.
Yeah. So my number 4 is another weird pick. Civilization 2.
Okay.
I have not played it. I'm familiar with this one at least.
Yeah.
So this is like I don't want to make it a sad story, but when I was young, you know, typical poor family, had one computer, couldn't run any games, but I really wanted SimCity as a kid. Could never afford it, so my mom just bought this random game that she asked if it was anything like SimCity, named Civilization 2, and holy shit, I dropped so many hours into this game so fast. Like, my parents would have to kick me out of their room, which is where the family computer was, at like 9 o'clock or whatever when I had to go to bed. And when I finally got my own computer, it was the only thing I had installed on it. And then I got a laptop and I was like 15. Still had the same disc from when I was like 8. Installed this game onto my laptop and played it until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd have to get up and go to school. Yeah.
So I've never played Civ 2 myself. My brother did. He played it a lot. And the reason I never played it is because, like, he would never let me. He's like, you're too stupid to play. And I was like, God. It's like, yeah, I don't want to play with your scrub level. And I was like, okay. Oh. So I just got, like, really deterred because of that. And I was like, well, I guess I'll never play Civ 2. But it always looked really fun. And, I mean, I was a pretty big fan of RTSs. And I know it's not an RTS. But that's...
Yeah.
Not a
close
traditional,
enough to one.
Yeah, not a traditional RTS. But it has that, like, strategizing element to it that I would really enjoy.
Yeah. It was really interesting because when you do good, I think this was only in 2 that this happened. You had a throne room, and it started off as this shitty little chair in a concrete room. And every time your citizens liked you, you would get a bigger throne room, and it just built up to like this giant throne sitting in a room of gold. And achieving that was just so good.
Yeah.
Like, I loved getting to that point. And obviously just burning down civilizations was a cool thing to do when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that, like, forgive me if I'm being, like, really stupid, but is that, like Civ 5 is, like, that hex-based strategy. Is Civ 2 like that, where it's hex-based?
Civ 5, I think, was the first one to be hex. Everything before that was on squares.
Okay.
So adding an extra side really changed the game a lot.
Yeah. I'm not a huge RTS guy, but, like, that, like, just hex-based, like, intimidated the shit out of me. But yeah.
Yeah, I would always just every night start a new game and see how far I could get before I needed to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because, just random maps. So it was unlimited replayability, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Has anyone played a Civ game?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No, I haven't.
Which one?
I played Civ 5.
Yeah. Civ 5 is good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really good game. It still has the just one more turn about it.
Yep.
But 2 is just special to me.
No, I feel you, man. Yeah. Like, every time, just talking about RTSs, I'm just like, I have RTSs that could have made this list.
Yeah.
So I that's what I've just been thinking about while you're talking about it. And I was like, dang. But yeah, that's a really solid pick, man.
Well, I got nothing much more to say about that.
All right. Well, Perry.
All right, guys. Like I said before, that order doesn't mean anything. This is a much more modern pick, and I think the reason why I chose Mass Effect 2 for my number 4 spot is just because the characters and the story stuck with me, like, for a very long time. Like, it was just something I wanted to keep experiencing because it just felt so dynamic and interesting and fun, and I don't know, like, for a modern RPG mixed with a shooter, like, they nailed a lot of stuff right. Like, like the interactions with your companions. That's the word. I had to think about that for a moment. The companions were just so interesting. Like, they all had different values and morals, and, like, they all had really cool and rich, like, histories to themselves. And I was so, like, into it. Like, the first playthrough, I was like, hey, I just beat Mass Effect 1. That game was okay. I'm really hyped for this one because there's a fucking anti-gravity gun or some shit. So let's do this. And, like, all I knew about Mass Effect 1 was that it was, a weird alien game. It was kind of Star Trek-y. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. This one, I had no idea what I was getting into. And I'm going to say this is a little spoilerly, but, it's in the first 5 minutes. You fucking die. And then you come back.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That blew my mind. I had to replay the game right from the get-go. I had to do a hard reset. I was like, yo, did I fuck up the game somewhere? Like, why am I dead?
Oh, man.
And, like, I was just... I was so blown away by how dynamic the combat system combined with like mixing companions and like changing your class, like how different it all felt and how fun it was to fight guys, shoot guys, and use powers and shit. And like just talking, I met a lot of friends from playing Mass Effect 2 and like just talking to them like, hey, did you do blank to get blank? And they're like, no, but did you do this instead? And I'm like, what? That's so fucking cool.
You could do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like little things in Mass Effect 2 that really shine. And overall, I think the last chapter of that game is easily the most memorable, like, and most intense thing I've experienced in like a story-driven game, and like a more recent story-driven game I've played. And I love it for that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that section of the game is the best section in any of the Mass Effect games.
Totally.
And like it feels so earned to get there, especially when you've done everything, like you've done all the companion missions and like everyone trusts you.
Yeah. And
like it feels so good.
It feels so good to be like, hey, can I trust you to do this for this part? And they're like, bro, I got you covered. And then like they don't fuck up. And then like like I don't know if you guys ever did this, but I did a whole game where like I was just mean to everybody, and like how easily the last section can get fucked up is so interesting. I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never done that. I should try that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Because you can lose 3 people right off the bat. Like
really,
it's really interesting.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like I think the only thing I like more than Mass Effect 3 than 2 was that they had a really cool multiplayer. But besides that, Mass Effect 2, one of the more interesting sci-fi RPG shooter games. Like they have, and I think Raz can agree with me on this because he's a nerd. But the customization in this game is it's not overly deep, but it's deep enough to be like, oh, I want to dick around with this for hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I'd say that Mass Effect 1 had more like RPG elements.
Totally.
With like combat and like the skill trees, I guess is what you call it, in that, with the different things you could fill out.
Not the power branches.
Not the power branches. But like the thing about it is like the gear in that game was confusing as fuck.
Yeah.
And in general, the combat, like the actual combat, was terrible.
Yeah, it was really
like,
janky.
Super hard.
Yeah.
And they streamlined a lot of those RPG elements, which I know a lot of people were mad about. But I think they did it well enough where there was still enough to get deep into it.
Yeah, like there was it was deep enough to like wanting to try a different way to play the game.
Yeah. But also, if you are like, you know, a filthy cash, you could easily just blow through without thinking about.
Yeah, you could just be a soldier and it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I kind of talked about this on the Snowcast, but there's this like intersection between with Mass Effect 2, like it has the good talking stuff from Mass Effect 1.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'd say Mass Effect 3 streamlines combat the most, but like the actual fighting probably feels the best. But Mass Effect 2 is still pretty close.
Dude.
So it has like really good combat and still pretty good like talking and dialogue options.
Yeah.
I kind of like them more in the first one, but 2 is like close enough. Well, like 3 is just like
I totally
really shitty for that.
I totally agree on the dialogue thing. I just think they made it a little bit more streamlined in the second game, and I think that kind of led to just like a more precise experience if you want to be good or bad, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think in terms of combat, 2 was just like so much fun. It was so satisfying. And then like 3, like I knew 3 was going to be good, but they tweaked a couple things. They're just a little bit more cleaner to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, like fucking Mass Effect 2 is a great game.
Yeah. I think it just hits like overall, like it might not have certain things that are the highest point in the series, but overall it's consistently better.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's consistently good. And yeah.
It's like the Parks and Rec of
Oh my god, that's such a good comparison.
Like The Office had higher highs than Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
But it also had some really fucking
had the lowest lows.
Like, it had some bad lows.
Yeah.
But Parks and Rec, consistently good.
consistently
Like
good.
Mass Effect 2, consistently
And
good.
just like in Parks and Rec, the characters, the cast was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to know them better, which is great.
Who did you ship?
Dude, I've done so many playthroughs,
Okay.
but like, you know, I really respect Fem Shep with Garrus. I really, really respect that.
That's a good one.
That's a strong one. But if I'm gonna be male, I'm all about Miranda because
Yeah, fair enough.
that booty.
I was about to say she's got that booty.
That booty. Like I popped that game in, and then like you get to meet Miranda like right off the bat. I was like, holy shit! Like how they capture that booty so well in a video game.
Oh my. I've never played any Mass Effect games.
I would if you are interested, start with 2.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting.
The more updated.
I would disagree.
Oh.
Fight me.
Just because the whole like transferring a story from 1 to 2 makes it feel so personal.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I mean,
Yeah, that
I
is
agree,
a cool
but
thing.
like what I was gonna say is like if you play it on PS3 or I think the updated computer version, it has like this like comic backstory thing where like they just let you pick certain situations, so like you get a feel for what happened in one without playing the jankiness.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
it's great. I played it so many times, you guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
go ahead, Steve.
I mean, I didn't know a thing. Like, nobody I knew was playing Mass Effect when it came out. And, like, only recently, like, a lot of people in the YouTube space talk about it.
Well,
And, like, the thing that would sell me on it, I guess, is, like, a lot of people talk about just the relationships between characters.
well, Steve, to be fair,
So, like-
you haven't seen Star Wars, so
Don't bring that here. Don't bring that here, Perry.
it's too late.
No! I leave.
Oh god.
This is where I leave.
Yeah, but I would say, well, for me, like, it took me 5 times. Like, I started Mass Effect 5 times before I finally got into it.
Really?
And the first one,
Wow.
I struggled so much
Oh, yeah,
to get
dude.
into it.
I remember, okay, so like I bought my 360 and it was a pre-owned one, and I bought like 3 or 4 games with it, and one of them was Mass Effect because it was really, really cheap.
Mhm.
And I remember starting it up, and I was like, "Yo, fuck this game." And then like a couple years later, I tried it again after talking to a friend about it, and I was like, "Okay, I can dig this." And then I just kind of like played through it, and then like Mass Effect 2 came out, and I was super hyped. And then that's pretty much it.
I bought Mass Effect day 1, finished it the next day.
Jeez.
Like-
Oh my god.
I did not put it down when I put it in.
That's crazy.
I loved it. And then it really showed, like, between 1 and 2 that the developers listened
Yeah,
to every complaint.
Yeah.
Like, that was really cool to me.
But then 2 to 3,
2 to 3.
Well,
they
EA
shut their ears a bit.
Yeah, so like that was a huge problem for me. Was like it was very obvious things were changing in BioWare, and I was like, "Oh man, like this fucking multiplayer is dope as hell, but like y'all kind of fucked up everywhere else."
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that's all I got to say about Mass
Okay.
Effect 2. Kick it over to Steve-O Hobo.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh,
My number 4 is Halo 2.
Halo
And this
Reach.
That's a good one. That was would have been in my 10.
So, I know you guys know that I love Halo 2. I've done a video on it. But it was also really hard to put this over Halo 3 because I may have put more hours into Halo 3
Wow.
than 2. And, like, just briefly, it's because of the Forge mode in Halo 3. And I played a fuck ton of that with friends. And that is just a blast. But Halo 2, it was like probably my first like online shooter.
Yeah.
And I think the single player was like, I know I haven't played in a long time, so I don't even really remember what happens at the end. But I know a lot of people had issues with the ending.
Yeah.
Leading, like how it's supposed to lead into the next game, I guess. And so that didn't really bother me because I mean I didn't even play the first game before, so I didn't really care too much about the story. Master Chief is a fucking badass though, and
Yeah, for real.
the single player is really fun to play co-op.
Yo.
Because of the vehicle segments. Holy shit. Like, I love all of the vehicles. Like, just driving a Warthog. It has, like, I don't know if any other, like, game like that with vehicles controls in that way, but it feels kind of weird, but, like, oddly satisfying to, like, pull off, like, a sick drift in a Warthog. Yeah. And, multiplayer was super solid. My favorite game mode was SWAT, if you guys ever played SWAT.
SWAT. Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't.
Dude, SWAT is great because, like, Halo, Halo, you have your shields, but in SWAT mode, you don't have shields, and you start with, like, the coolest weapon in the game, battle rifle, and a magnum, which sucks. But the battle rifle is cool because if you get a perfect headshot, you instantly kill people.
Yeah.
And so, like, man, it was so satisfying to just destroy a game of SWAT with, like, 20 kills. Like, there would be some games where I'd play horribly, but then I would get, like, a certain game where I would just go on a massacre and could not be stopped because it was so easy to kill people. If you had, like, just the right aim, like, you were unstoppable. So that was so fun. But, and I made a video on this, my favorite part is the glitches in the game.
They bring us together or something, right?
They bring us together. They brought
my
friends and I together.
Yeah, I had the same experience, just spending hours, like, on Ascension, trying to get that super bounce to get on top of the tower.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. And I wasn't very good at them as a kid, and then coming back to it to do that video was, like, amazing because I was pulling off super bounces I didn't even know I could do.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never done them before. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Yes. That video was so fun to make just to be playing that game, like, to break that game to pieces.
Yeah.
So fun.
See, that was, like, the first game that I did a lot of, like, LAN parties with.
Yeah.
So we would go to, like, a friend's house. 8 people would be playing. And we rarely played, like, normal games. We always made, like, dumb rules. Like, we would play zombies before.
Yeah.
Like, it was an actual thing.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah, that's so cool how, like, that game mode started in, like, it was just some stupid, like, game within a game that somebody made up.
Yeah.
And, like, it was so popular that they brought it as an actual game mode into Halo 3.
Yeah.
So cool.
And just in general, just doing that sort of thing and dicking around with friends was just so much fun. So I definitely think it's there. I will say I did not like the single player all that much. Mainly just, like, the ending of the single player is the big thing.
Yeah.
It's like a boss fight. Like, and especially when you compare it to Halo 3's ending, which is, like, fucking amazing. Just driving,
that
like,
ending chase.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Halo 1
That's
had,
so
like,
fun.
a chase too, like a driving segment too, and, like, those are just so memorable and so good.
That is a very shitty boss
And,
fight,
like,
to be honest.
That just
in
ends.
Halo 2.
And, like, to say that the whole campaign is shitty because that isn't fair. But it was definitely my least favorite of the 3 for the basic trilogy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that one the best out of the first 3.
The campaign.
Yeah. I just kind of blew my mind that they, like, took it to Earth for a while. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah. That was cool.
I did like.
I love those segments.
I did like the dual storyline too, being, like, the Arbiter.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't
interesting.
like the Arbiter. Doing that video, I was, like, looking up what critics thought. Critics hated the
Really?
Arbiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember that.
he's kind of easily hateable because you want to play as Master Chief.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But from a story
Still fun,
perspective,
though.
it's cool
Totally.
to kind of get, like.
Yeah,
I'm
and
a
he
sucker
plays
for-
different too. Like Arbiter, you can play, like, pretty stealthy, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Some
a sucker
slight
for
tweaks.
multiple point of view stories, so that is cool. That is a cool element. Anything else?
Not really. If anyone else wants to talk about Halo, go ahead.
Raz,
The only thing
Raz pretty much said everything I was going to say.
Yeah.
The only thing about Halo 2 that sometimes I like less than Halo 1 is that the vehicles explode. In Halo 1, like, I mean, it's better because it's realistic, whatever. But in Halo 1, like, the warthogs and tanks, like, would never blow up. So you could just, like, dick around with them all the time. We would, like, get rocket launchers and then play a game that we called soccer, where you just shoot the warthog with rocket launchers and tanks and try to get it to the other person's base in Blood Gulch. But that's, like, such a stupid minor thing. Like, you know, Halo 2 multiplayer is much better than Halo 1.
I actually really do like, this is really particular, but like when the ghost is about to explode, it makes like this really like lasery noise. It's like, what? And then it just explodes.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. That's pretty much it for Halo 2, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we're snaking it, so you can jump into your number 3.
Oh yeah. Okay. You guys are going to love this. Number 3.
Maple Story.
No. Maple Story is not on this list.
Uh-huh.
Number 3 is Donkey Kong Country 2.
Oh, hey.
Oh my god.
That's my number 3 too. How weird.
How
All right,
amazing.
Perry, let's tag team
Yo, let's
this.
tag team it. Well,
So,
let's start off.
I mean-
let's start off the bat by saying Donkey Kong Country 2, best Donkey Kong Country. Am I right?
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
So, I think Perry played as a child, right?
Yes, yes, I played as a
Don't-
child.
No, you played the game as a child. I did not. First time I played this game was like a couple months ago. And I did that because Perry and I participated in a race of Donkey Kong Country 2 for speedrunning it.
Yeah.
And that is a story of its own. I fucked up, but it ended up making that game one of my favorite games, because what a joy it is to just tear through that game. Like, oh my god, I love running through that game as fast as I can. But yeah, it's I would say it's the best out of the original trilogy for a few reasons. I think Donkey Kong Country 1 focused a lot on atmosphere. Shout out to VZ, who made a fantastic video on explaining the theming of that game.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong Country 2 dropped that whole thing, and I think it focused... I mean, it didn't really drop it, but, like, it went bonkers in terms of theming. And I think it focused more on mechanics and, like, really, like, fine-tuning the base mechanics of a Donkey Kong Country
Yeah,
game.
I think.
And the level design's really
Yeah,
solid.
yeah. I think they focus more on like making a really difficult and fun game, because like
Yeah.
the mechanics they perfect because they give you 2 faster characters, and they give you like pretty varied level design from level to level. Some
yeah.
aspects may come up later on, but they're usually in a different way, or a more interesting way, a more difficult way. So I don't know, like for me, like growing up, this was the platforming game. Like I had Mario World, I had Yoshi's Island, but Donkey Kong Country 2 was the game I sat down and tried to beat in a sitting, because like it was just so much fun. There's just a lot, like as a kid, I liked animals. I mean, obviously I'm Pterodactyl, I like dinosaurs, I like animals. But motherfucker, Donkey Kong Country 2 was so fucking cool. Like there's just so many different areas that are like you don't see in a platformer. Like you don't see a carnival world that turns into a beehive.
Yeah.
You don't start off in a pirate ship that goes into a fucking volcano. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in a lot of different ways they just they fucking nailed, like, hey, this level's really weird and hard. Let's put some really chill music in there. That's the first game I can think of where like they were really thoughtful in incorporating level design and music. And
Dude,
shit.
like the music is so great, and like what you're saying about being really thoughtful about the music, I think a lot of people have said this, but like in particular the Bramble levels are like the most stressful levels in the game, and to complement that they give you the most calming music, so you can really keep your cool.
You keep your cool and you don't get pissed off super easy, and it's great because it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to address something that you were saying about like the theming, how it's just it's different than other games. I've been thinking about it a lot recently because like a lot of games, whether it's 2D platformers, 3D platformers, especially those, because those are usually like by stages sort of games.
Mm-hmm.
They have, you know, the snow level, the desert level, but like DKC2 is just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're gonna show you stuff you've never seen, which is like similar to Psychonauts in a lot of ways, which just has all these levels, which you're like, I've never seen these in a platformer before.
Yeah,
and that's what I really liked about DKC2. I'll say I didn't like it as much as DKC until I was an adult and played it because it was so hard.
Yeah, totally. I think that's what, I don't know, kind of like made me like more hard games, you know? Because like,
I think the difficulty curve is spot on.
Because like you can get into Super Mario World, just about anybody can get into that and beat it. But like I remember picking that game up and it kicked my ass, and I was like, yo, I want to get into this. I want to beat it.
I want to be good.
Yeah, dude. And like, I don't think that's a very, like, for people that don't play video games very seriously, like, it's kind of hard to understand, but like, it's like when you get into a sport or something, and like, you think it's really cool, like it's basketball or whatever, but you suck ass, like you slow, you can't do layups, you dribble for shit, and then like, you join on a team and you just start sucking ass, and then you get beat by really cool guys, and you're like, I want to be cool like that. That's just like Donkey Kong Country 2 for me.
Oh, that's amazing.
I want to slam.
Slam jam
with Donkey Kong.
I want to fucking scroll the entire screen as Dixie. Yo, let's do it.
Dude, it's like the Mega Man X motivation where you're like, oh, Zero is so cool.
Yeah.
I want to be Zero.
Yeah.
Without that, though.
Without that.
It's just hard. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have not played like Tropical Freeze.
Dude,
so I don't know.
Literally a perfect
Fucking
game.
awesome.
Where those are. But DKC2 is definitely, I think, the best objectively.
Man, I love it so much, and I have no nostalgia for it. So if you haven't played that game, anyone that's listening, fucking play it. It's so great.
Just play it, man.
Just
like,
play it,
I know
man.
we said it's hard, but if you like platformers, you should really try it out.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Donkey Kong Country 2, play it.
Do it.
Moving on.
Bananas. Am I right?
Bananas.
So that was your number 3 as well, Perry?
Yeah.
Well, looks like you're up, Raz, because my number 3 was Majora's Mask.
Okay. So I think I'm going to knock one off Perry's list with this. We'll see. But my third one is Resident Evil 4.
So it was my top 10, and now it's not here.
Okay. Good. I didn't want to knock any of yours off. I thought it might.
The Razgenda. Knocking people's games off.
Raz and I have very similar tastes, Steve.
Yeah. We like a lot of the same games. It's the first Resident Evil game I played. I mean, and since I've only played 5, which was whatever. It was fun to do co-op. The co-op in 5 was pretty fun to do with a friend. But yeah, 4 was just, it was one of those games where I bought it and like I had gone to GameStop with a friend and he was just like watching me play the first couple hours. And it was just like such a bonding experience that both of us were like trying to be like brave and like, yeah, I'm not going to be scared of some shitty game. And like then my fucking head got chopped off by a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I want to cry. It just was so fun. The weapons are all like every single weapon is satisfying. Granted, you know, I didn't use most of them because I was always using the shotgun. Because I'm not a fucking nerd. But like all the weapons feel good. It's genuinely scary, especially the first disc. Yeah, it kind of starts not being as scary once you get to the second disc. And
yeah, it becomes more of an action kind of thing.
Yeah,
which is fine. You know, well, I would have liked it to keep it up, but it made sense, I feel like, with the story and the progression of the story.
Definitely. I think for me, like Resident Evil 4, I remember playing 1 a long time ago, and it scared the poop out of me. and I was scared. I was scared to play 4. I was like, this game looks frightening. And then I had a very similar experience to Raz, except for I wasn't playing and I was just watching a friend play, and I was like, this looks so cool. And I was reaching that age where like I was super into action movies and stuff. I was like, this is just an action movie that's a horror game. Hell yeah, I want to shoot like fucking zombie villagers and deal with chainsaw men. This is exciting. And I think from like Resident Evil 4 on, like it kind of changed like what I was into. Like I was more into the action games rather than like a thoughtful or strategy driven game. And like I don't think that's a bad thing. It just kind of like, changed my taste a little bit. And I think what Resident Evil 4 does really, really well that like further iterations of Resident Evil haven't captured is like it's a fucking cool action movie. Like,
oh yeah,
the other ones are just too like, hey, we're trying to do the same thing, but like it's trying too hard. I don't know. It's a little hard to explain, but I don't know. I think 5. I haven't played 6. But I thought 5 was really fun with a friend, but it didn't quite have the same charm because, I don't know, it's just kind of goofy, I guess.
Are we past the spoiler window of Resident Evil 4?
When did that come out? Like 2006? Something like
yeah.
that? I mean, I'm going to say yeah, because it's like
okay, we're
almost
past
10
the
years.
Window. If you care about it, mute for the next 10 seconds. My favorite part of it all, like Leon is funny, like throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
I bought into it. But my favorite part is like, you're like protecting Ashley all the time. And you're like, oh, these two are going to end up. And then she like totally max on him. And he's like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to go out with this radio bitch.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
that
like, was the best.
Fuck yeah. And I'm just like, it was just, I was shocked by it. I'm like, oh, this is way different. And like, it felt like that moment felt very movie-ish to me.
Yeah,
like,
man. Like, I think they nailed Leon as a fucking character in Resident Evil 4. Like,
yeah,
he was
like,
the cheesy one-liner cool guy with the really cool hair.
Who's kind of an asshole, but
not really, because
he's our asshole.
Yeah.
He's the lovable asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just, it's funny, it's scary, it's intense. The action is great.
Yeah, and I think everyone has moments in Resident Evil 4 that they can just go back to and be like, dude, I had that guy was about to get me, and like you'll never forget it because how intense or how cool it was. And I think that makes Resident Evil very special.
That was the first game I ever played a New Game Plus of, and I played it so many times that I got, what was it, like $8 million and got the unlimited rocket launcher.
Jesus
awesome.
Christ.
And I just kept like plowing through that game with this unlimited rocket launcher just to see how fast I could do it.
Yeah, I never got that far, but yeah, it was one of the games that I actually wanted to start like up again right after finishing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rare.
I think, well, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but the games that we've been talking about that I agree with or that are on my list are all games that I replayed or continually replay. Resident Evil 4 is one I visit a lot. And I think something we forgot to talk about is how awesome Mercenaries is.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Because that is literally the perfect like arcade experience. Like from a story driven game. Like I don't know who created it, but motherfucking Capcom, good job. Good job, guys.
Good on ya.
Like you can play as different characters that you see glimpses of or just know about from lore. Like, fucking cool. It's so cool.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even a game that, like, did you play the Wii remake at all?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. It was actually good. Like, I was surprised. Like, I played it on GameCube originally. And, I mean, I think it's better on GameCube. But I thought it worked.
It worked really well.
Yeah. Which was surprising because it came out in a time where things weren't working all that well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, they figured it out. That game is just
Capcom had it figured out for that game
for a while. Yeah. The atmosphere is just amazing, and like every like kind of set, I guess you would say, like the village or the castle, like they're just perfect, like for what they're trying to be.
Totally.
There is a moment in the game where like it's on the second disc. Well, I mean, I guess it's probably different if you didn't do it on GameCube. But that was weird too. It was like the only GameCube game I ever had that was on more than one disc.
That's how badass it was, you guys.
So badass. But it's like on the second disc and you're like, oh, I'm not scared anymore. And like I remember saying that. Like, yeah there hasn't been
exactly
anything
where you're
scary.
going towards.
And then I'm walking in this room and a fucking guy pops out of a fridge and he's on fire. And I just screamed. I'm like, okay, I was wrong.
That's exactly what I was talking about before. Like everybody has something like that from Resident Evil 4. Like I remember the first time I encountered regenerators in Resident Evil 4. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, what the fuck? Why isn't this thing dying? What the hell? No, stop, go away. And then I died and I was like, oh, I can snipe the parasites inside of it.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything to say about RE4?
I got nothing.
Another game I haven't
All
played. Right. I've played a little bit of RE5 co-op.
The co-op made it okay.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing with someone who's fun to play games with.
I'm just a big puss about horror games. I can't do horror. Like I bought Zombie U a little recently, and like I just like I don't like the anxious feeling playing a horror game. Like I can't do the suspense.
I think scary games is too spicy food in that you kind of are like, oh, I'm kind of anxious about it, I don't know, and then you get into it and you're like, yo, this is really good.
I would say it's more like, because spicy food, then you still have like it in your system. And for me, I sniffle a lot when I have spicy food.
Yeah.
It's more like when you're getting into the water and it's like cold. And like it's mainly like, I do not want it to touch my dick. Like it's going to be so cold. Yeah. And then you do it and then you're like, oh, that was not that bad. And then then you're good.
One day.
Like it's for a second,
guys.
it's like, oh, my dick is so cold. And then you're good. But I don't like spicy food at all, so that's why that one doesn't work as well.
Well, it works for me. So.
It does. You're from Texas, though. So. This seems like a good spot to cut it for this episode. It's running a little long, so we'll do the second half for our next episode, which will be in 2 weeks. We will be posting a new one every other Thursday, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. We are on a bunch of different platforms, so wherever you're watching, it might be YouTube, Podomatic, or iTunes. Wherever you are, please show us some support. Let us know what you're thinking. Leave a like, leave a rating, and best case scenario, leave a comment or review telling us what you thought and letting us know what you'd maybe like to talk about in the future. Or in general, join the conversation. Let us know what games you really like. So we have a lot of fun doing this, and you leaving a rating or a comment or a like really helps us figure out what we should talk about in the future, and the sort of content that we should aim this channel to be, or rather this podcast to be. So thanks for listening. Keep your eye out for new episodes, and looking forward to doing more soon. Thank you. Bye.